Now, we all know that ex-interim UFC lightweight champions Dustin Poirer and Justin Gaethje are scheduled to have their rematch at UFC 291. The first meeting between these two took place in April 2018 and was included in the Fight of the Year conversation, as Poirier was victorious in the fourth round by TKO. Poirier stands one place ahead of Gaethje and is the second seed in the lightweight division. But the belt will be at stake during the main event this time, making this one of the most highly anticipated matches of the event. Who's got the better chance of winning? Where can you stream the match live? Stay tuned and find out. Poirier vs Gaethje 2 will stream live on ESPN Plus PPV from Delta Center in Salt Lake City on Saturday, July 29th. The fight card will also include a series of MMA fighters with a BMF belt contested on that night. The main event will also have other exciting things going on besides just the rematch. The pair will fight it out among themselves for the symbolic Baddest Motherfucker title. Their first fight dates back to April 2018 when the Diamond halted the highlights and became the winner in the fourth round. In his most recent outing last November, 34-year-old Dustin Poirer managed to submit Michael Chandler in the third round in a heated match. It was a brutal back-and-forth battle which ended in Poirier's favor. He later said that he had to power through multiple fouls by Chandler and also alleged that Michael bled into his mouth on purpose and also fish-hooked him in an attempt to get some leverage for a choke. Gaethje may come from a wrestling background, but it's not every day he uses that in his fighting. The first takedown of his career was in his bout against Fiziev, but it's hard to say what he'll do in the coming rematch. When you think about it, even something as small as a takedown is a sign of Gaethje's evolution. He may have been a tight collegiate wrestler, but he made it through a whole 10 UFC fights without so much as shooting for a takedown. So the first one was definitely a moment of celebration for fans and analysts who were then begging Gaethje to tell us about his game plan and why he chose to go for it now after 10 fights. Even though this rematch is happening over 5 years after the first one, it's hard to project a much different result. Not just in the sense of choosing a winner, but more so when it comes to just how this fight is going to play out. In the UFC 291 co-main event, we'll also get to see Jan Blachowicz take on ex-middleweight champion Alex Pereira. Blachowicz had a fight last year against Magomed Ankalaev, the result of which was a split draw for the division's vacant title. Now Pereira, a 36-year-old fighter from São Bernardo do Campo, Brazil, will be making his 205-pound debut. He's trying for a comeback after his loss against reigning middleweight champion Israel Adesanya back in April. Now, as for the UFC 291 PPV card, we've got an exciting welterweight match between Michael Pereira from Brazil and Stephen Thompson from the United States. Also, there's an all-American lightweight match with Tony Ferguson and Bobby Green. And to start things up, Michael Chiesa is up against his fellow American Kevin Holland in a welterweight matchup. But how will this Poirier vs Gaethje fight play out? We all know this isn't the first time these two are going head-to-head in the octagon. Last time Poirier won, but if Gaethje's coach is to be believed, he'll be returning for this match with a new strategy. His coach, Justin, gave his fans a detailed explanation of how he changed his game plan so he could improve and fix his strategy. Gaethje is renowned for his aggressive fighting style, which can come off as a little impulsive, as a result of which he's taken way too many hits in his matches. Gaethje recently opened up about how he started fighting like that. According to the fighter, during his early days, he never thought about upping his game and using advanced tactics while fighting and depended on hard punches. It was working until he lost 2 fights in a row against Eddie Alvarez and especially Dustin Poirer, which is now making him reconsider everything. He opened up about his journey and revealed that he began fighting while he was still wrestling in college, and as a result, he didn't really incorporate any tactical moves into his style. He just thought that that's how it's done until he lost against Poirier. Gaethje's head coach also explained how together they started replacing brute force with efficiency in order to win, instead of just going in the ring and punching blindly with full force. According to Justin's coach, the fighter switched up his persona from being the highlight of UFC to becoming the upcoming interim lightweight champion in the world. Now the question that stands to be answered is, what are the odds? Poirier beat Max Holloway and Gaethje beat Tony Ferguson in bouts for the interim lightweight belts, but both lost regular title bouts to Khabib Nurmagomedov and Charles Oliveira. So, on top of the BMF title, which is mostly just for legacy, there is a lot on the line here because the loser's dreams of winning a lightweight title will be pretty much wiped out. For now, at BetMGM, Gaethje is plus 120 and Poirier is negative 145 favorite. Honestly, on paper, this is a really compelling fight and could be seen as pretty much a 50-50 fight, but still, the best US betting apps are slightly leaning towards Diamond. Gaethje's got a burning desire to avenge his loss to Dustin Poirer, and that might be the real driving force here, which could overpower Poirier's goal of just getting another win. According to Brown, Gaethje's schedule and motivation seem to be enough for him to come out on top in this rematch. Both fighters know that they don't have much time left in their careers, but because of his loss, Gaethje seems to have that extra fire in him. Brown recognizes Poirier's rare ability to seize momentum and turn fights around at crucial moments. He even likens his fight-changing punch to Manny Pacquiao's style, saying that while Poirier might not knock everyone out with one hit, when he connects, it seriously messes with the opponent's mindset. They don't want to go through that again. Now, for an expert opinion, Eric Nixick, head coach at Extreme Couture, and Elliot Marshall, co-owner and head instructor at Eastern Training Center in Denver, Colorado, shared their thoughts on the upcoming match. When asked about the standout elements in their game, Nixick pointed out both fighters' impressive durability. He reminded us of Poirier's excellent boxing skills and Gaethje's proficiency in the inside clinch work. One common factor between the two fighters is their amount of experience. Their time in the sport has taught them not only how to endure a punch, but also how to defend themselves while in the ring. Experience, of course, plays a big role in their ability to make smarter decisions and avoid taking unnecessary hits. Poirier's clean boxing style will definitely lend some extra excitement to the match, especially when you keep in consideration Gaethje's controlled performance in his previous fight against Rafael Fiziev. It'll be interesting to see if Gaethje can hold on to that level of composure in this bout. Gaethje's power is no secret, and while Poirier is really strong himself, Gaethje for sure has the upper hand in that department. Gaethje's strong defensive wrestling skills mean that Poirier won't be able to use the same strategy he used against Conor when he was facing a tough situation. Taking Gaethje down won't be an easy task for Poirier in this fight, but which of these things will swing the odds? More than the fighting style and experience, it's usually the fighter that has come up with a better game plan that walks away from the octagon victorious. For either fighter to emerge victorious, they simply need to stay disciplined in their striking. To win, Poirier's strategy is to get Gaethje moving backward, since historical evidence shows that anyone who's achieved that has beaten him. On the flip side, Gaethje's path to victory lies in moving forward aggressively. Both fighters should avoid turning the match into a wild brawl, as that hasn't worked out well for Gaethje in the past. He lost to Eddie Alvarez and Poirier in such situations. Khabib and Charles Oliveira are the ones who have beaten Gaethje since then, and they did so by forcing him to go backwards. Even though Oliveira secured a submission victory, it was set up by his precise striking, just like Poirier's crisp striking abilities. Reflecting on the previous bout, Nixick observed that Poirier successfully disrupted Gaethje's foundation early on, making him throw punches that didn't carry much weight. This time around, Poirier might aim to do similar things, perhaps targeting Gaethje's body and legs. An intriguing detail Nixick shared was Gaethje's habit of visiting their gym and challenging anyone to drop him with a body shot for a reward of $500. It shows Gaethje's toughness and readiness to take on challenges. Despite appearances, Gaethje's technical skills often go unnoticed. People might criticize his style, but he's actually a unique and somewhat unorthodox technical fighter, and staying true to that could be what he needs to win this one. We'll have to wait and see. Who will win this fight? Will you be tuning in to watch the action live at UFC 291? Let us know in the comment section below. Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.